Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, that was a great corporate presentation by HackLab Solutions. Of that, we move on to the next panel session of the day. Very interesting and very powerful topic, safety culture mindset, the tools for high performance. And to discuss on this wonderful panel, I have with me a plethora of experts of the same domain from the HSE sector. So let me introduce without further delay our honorable panel members in sequence. Joining first, we have Mr. Manoj Kumar Shah, Corporate HSE Head for Azure Power. Warm welcome to you, Manojji.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Joining next, we have Mr. Ravi Kiran Avaru, the Head IT from Apollo Tires.
Hi,
Welcome to the
good
panel.
evening, everybody.
Joining next, we have Mr. Amit Kumar, the CGM Electrical and Health Safety from ONGC. A warm welcome to you, Amitji.
Thank you, Sana, and thank you, Cenex, for having me on this conference.
Joining next, we have Mr. Dharmender Solanki, the GM HSC from HPCL. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Solanki. Joining next, we have Mr. Swaminathan Subramanian, the AVP Environmental Health and Safety from JSW Group. A warm welcome to you, Swaminathan ji.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Sana.
Joining next, we have Mr. Sudhir Shenoy, the Regional Safety, Health and Environment Director from Hankel. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Shenoy.
Thank you, Sana. Good afternoon and my greetings to all.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the moderator of this panel, Mr. Santosh Kumar Srivastava, the GM Head EHS from Tata Projects. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Srivastava. So, all over to you, the captain of the ship and the moderator of this panel. I am looking forward to a fantastic session of all the experts here. And of course, the moderator Santosh ji. I'm sure the panel is in wonderful and able hands. Hope we have a fantastic panel discussion session. So, all the very best panel members, wishing a great success in the panel. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks so much. To have been there along with the eminent panel members from different parts of the country as well as different organizations. And today's topic, as we know, is a very relevant topic for safety management system, and it is related to improving safety through various tools in terms of station. So, as you know that we are continuing to make leaps and bounds by improving health and safety in the workplace, supported by advances in digital that are truly changing the game, right? But perhaps the biggest impact of this session can be in how it can be revolutionizing the engagement, which ultimately underpins the success and effectiveness of any health and safety program. Now, for organizational health and safety, there are many opportunities to create efficiencies and make better decisions. In this panel discussion, the eminent panelists, our members will deliberate how digital is being used to identify trends in ancient data and by improving processes and reducing the risk through health and safety performance overall. As you know that health and safety has come a long way since the creation of Mines Act, Factories Act in the early 19th century that we were introduced to improve conditions for workers who desperately needed it. There are thought for workers such as 16 years old, say for example Ramlal, who lost an arm and broke his leg when he was put into machinery in 1908 and didn't receive any compensation. Now the progress on health and safety in workplace will benefit millions over the next century with varying results. Most of you will be familiar with the iconic photos and talking, working, and eating lunch as they dangle over various ledges while constructing some of the world's most famous buildings. So, not taking much of the time, now I would like to invite for this panel with the topic of safety, culture, mindset, tools for higher performance. I would like to invite Mr. DJ Solanki, who is the GM HSC in HPCL, and the topic of the discussion for will be big data analytics to improve safety. So, Mr. Solanki, welcome. So, one question comes into my mind for this topic of big data. How is this big data analytics helping to improve safety? How it will improve? What is your take on that, Mr. Solanki? Mr. Solanki, can you unmute yourself? Hello? Mr. Solanki, we are able to see you, but your voice is not audible. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello. Yeah.
Now you
Your
are
voice is
audible.
breaking. I am
Please
not.
go ahead. It's okay, you guys on. Means my question was like how this big data analysis helping to improve safety. I think some network issues are there with Mr. Solanki.
Vijayawada pipeline, ne?
Yes, Solanki, you go ahead,
Okay.
please. Yeah, Mr. Solanki.
Santosh, maybe you can
Are you
go
able
to
to
the
hear me? Okay. Mr. Solanki will come back after the network is resolved. So I would like to
I'm not
Ravi
able to
Kiran.
continuously hear. There is a voice break in between. Hello.
Okay, you continue with data. Your thoughts on data. Are you able to hear?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please continue. I think we might lose time on that note.
No, not.
So, Mr.
I'm
Vikran
not able to hear you
Avalu, who
anything.
is the head IT Apollo Tires. So, I will to invite Mr. Ravi Kiran. Are you audible? Means I am audible. Mr. Ravi Kiran.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah. Dharmendra, can you mute it? Solanki ji, can you mute yourself?
Mr. Solanki, please mute yourself.
Still, we see some issues with your network, Solanki ji.
Okay, coming to the Ravi Kiran, your topic is digital transformation in workplace using risk using the safety 4.0 framework. So, Mr. Ravi Kiran, how to deal with digitalization of industry 4.0 in the manufacturing industry? What are your thoughts on that?
See, for us, the digitalization industry 4.0 has to be handled both for IT, that is information technology, and as well as operation technology. I mean to say, we need to do this digitalization journey for office side as well as plant side also. And moreover, if you see this digitalization journey at a plant side is not a easy walk. It is really difficult because you have to convince the shop floor guys on what is the benefits which you are going to get as part of digitalization. So if you see from IT point of view, confidentiality, integrity, availability is the priority for us. But from a shop side, for them, uptime is important. If you ask priority wise, they always say that my system, my machinery has to be uptime so that I will not lose any production or and I will achieve my targets for that particular day. and their targets in shop side is per day. So it's a difficult task, or we need to maintain that balance between this IT and OT. As I said, IT lifecycle management of servers or end user client systems are maybe a 3 to 5 years. But if you see the missionaries has to be we will not replace lesser than 25 years. If you buy a machine in shop floor, I don't think we will replace it lesser than 25 years. It will give a non-stop productivity, and it gives the output to us. So digitalization at the shop floor is a critical job for us. And what we do normally is we build a consensus with the shop floor guys who are really operating those machines. Otherwise, these machines will not be able to connect to the corporate network or a common network where we can get fruits of digitalization or automation. So, and as I said, the machinery's life cycle is very high, 20 to 40 years, and we cannot release patches how we release for end users. We cannot release a patches for these machine side systems also. From that point of view, we choose very balanced line between IT and OT digitalization. Santosh.
Right, Mr. Ravidan, you are on the topic. Now, the second question will be, what should be the best practices for implementing
See,
the same? And I would like to could you speak a little louder for the benefit of the audience. What are the best practices?
see, this digitalization in industries in a manufacturing industry should be as a step by step. Take some areas of digitalization as part of Industry 4.0 and implement those solutions. For example, take a safety. We are implementing a safety solutions in the plant side. Take a particular wing or production unit, implement those standards, see how they are working, what is the impact, and do some audit. Like we always say PDCA model. Do some check and audit. Again, correct it and let it get stabilized for some time. Then take another shop floor. So going a step by step, a small portion wherever low impact is there, then we will get some confidence based on the proof of concepts and all. Then we will go really, we will go in a big way in other areas. So step by steps, PDA cycle, and having a good governance mechanism with return of investment, whether we are doing really taking care of it, return of investment with an adoption. Sometimes, though you put a biggest technology, spending so much money and all, if it is not adopted, we will not get that return of investment. I think these are the best practices we should follow from a step by step approach, ROI, adoption, proper awareness and training.
Mr. Ravikiran, any case study or example you can quote with respect to this episode, if any?
See, while I was in Toyota, we have implemented one safety system for trucks unloading because there'll be huge areas around 500 acres of plant where the trucks comes with the material, and Toyota follows just in time. So when we have done these safety precautions for this truck unloading and loading area as part of Industry 4.0, we have taken one small area and we have put these sensors on the which are the type of trucks which are coming, and any trespassers or any other areas where other than this truck will be blocked automatically by the system so that nobody will move around the truck in order to ensure that safety of the people and other material. So that we have done in one plant. Then we have implemented similar solution for other plant.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Mr. Kiran, for giving your time. Any one question from the audience, if it is there, you can type in the chat box. And meanwhile, I will switch over. Mr. Solanki, are you, can we have your session, please? Are you present now? Okay, fine. I think there is a big network issue for him. Moving to our next eminent speaker, Mr. Swaminathan. who is AVP EHS in JSW Group. So, Mr. Swaminathan, well, most welcome. And yeah, for the discussion will be hazard identification, automated data injection for smart decision making. So, my question for you goes like, how do you automate hazard identification process? Or what is the methodology which can be used in the automation of hazard identification? Mr. Swaminathan, you unmute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Santosh. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So regarding automation of hazard identification, I'll just give two practical examples from my previous assignments. Before joining JSW, I was heading safety as a chief safety expert for Nagpur Metro Rail project. So since it is a Metro Rail project where most public, in the middle of the road, we used to carry out the works. So the criticality of the works, whatever operations we are doing, is of very high importance. So hazard identification and implementing the control measures immediately, addressing the hazard, it's a very critical.
मनोज पॉसिबल है कुछ? हाँ? मनोज कुछ?
Okay.
Yeah. I will request every each speaker to mute yourself apart from Mr. Swaminathan so that conversation goes into.
Yeah. So here the identifying the hazard is as critical as addressing it. So it is like, because it's considering the dynamic nature of the construction itself and on the very high sensitive area. So before the hazard is addressed, the activity itself will be completed. So we need a real-time identification of hazard and real-time control over those things. So we implemented a thing called RIMS, Real-Time Integrated Hazard Management System. The name looks a little fancy, but the very fundamental thing is like the safety team person will go with a mobile device, either a tablet or his mobile phone. Just any hazard during his inspection, regular inspection, he takes the photo of it, then he uploads in the immediately, it will be reflecting across the concerned people will get the message immediately. So then the clock starts from that point of time. So what we measured before implementing this one was the response time. As I told you, before addressing the hazard, the activity itself will be completed. So that sort of the thing, the hazard will be naturally closed before implementing the control measures. So that was a big challenge for us. After implementing this hazard management system, it's a very simple thing. You just go with the mobile and then take a photo of that. Immediately the message goes to the concerned persons by auto messaging. Then from there we'll start monitoring, and then we start off the response time. Okay, the hazard is identified by this time and it is closed at this time. A simple metric of response time has changed the entire scenario. Previously, the response time was almost 46% of what we can say it's 3 to 4 days. But later it became like less than half a day because people were held accountable. The thing has been identified by this time. Why it has taken this much time to rectify it? So that was one small example. It's not only the response time, like various other data like type of hazards, vulnerable trades, vulnerable age group, vulnerable areas. So all these things can be mapped, and the entire the metro stretches of 42 kilometers were mapped depending upon the hazards, vulnerability of the trades and age groups and things. And that helped us in getting a decision making regarding training needs, inspection area of focus, how we plan our campaigns. These sort of things it has helped us. This is from the construction industry or very dynamic nature of this. And last 1.5 years, I'm involved with JSW Group, where we deal with steel plant, cement, all those things. From the factory setup, typical factory setup, if you see there, most of the from factory, the similar hazard management system we are also having. Like people go with the tool and they identify the hazards, and here also we are implementing the response time. But more towards the thing is we implemented a system called Shark, a Bangalore-based company we just hired, and then wherever the CCTV cameras are there, that cameras have been enabled with certain special features, like for example PPE compliance. Right from very basic thing of PPE compliance, it has been we can identify. Then especially vehicle related things, a lot of heavy vehicle movement and things were there. So vehicle speed detection, vehicle number plate detection, and unauthorized parking. So potential collision also, in fact. So that if there are any such things have been found out, immediately the control room will get the buzzer. Then immediately security persons will be alerted and concerned team will go there. In fact, similar for fire reduction, even some sensitive areas like steel melt shop, where unauthorized people entry, those type of, we have this geo fencing. So these type of things through the CCTV camera itself, we have made this video analytics, and then acid leakage or crowd detection. In fact, theft or pilferage detection also, it's one of the additional thing. So these were the way hazards have been identified with this sort of system, and which has helped us in addressing it. So it has given us more hands and eyes to identify and then address. And the more important thing is people were held accountable. Like everything is in black and white. The thing is like a subject, the objectivity of this thing has been more improved rather than and even our own safety team also will be more supported with these sort of tools.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Nathan, for insights and your rich experience into that, and that in construction sector, and especially in metros, also you have worked, and identification of hazard, automating them, analyzing them, then planning your future course of action based on that is a key, and your rich experience, insights, much appreciable. Thanks.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to request Mr. Amit Kumar, who is the Server of Safety, and he is the CGM HSE in ONGC. And I would like to invite him for his thoughts on the topic of strategic implications of digital transformation for HSE function, which is top the town. And my first query goes like this, like, how does digital transformation fit into HSE function, Mr. Amit? Yes, for your.
Thank you, Santosh, and I'm sure I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Very well.
Okay. So, good afternoon to all the participants who are attending this conference, and to all my panel members who are there with me. See, as a HSE manager, what is my first target? I mean, if we see the strategy as an HSE manager, my first target and the basic target is risk assessment, control, and mitigation. How do I do that? And if you say ONGC is working in one of the most hazardous environment in the industry sector, and the aspect that really the technology is nothing new for a company and an upstream sector in which ONGC works. Technology has been being used for quite some time, but where and what next as a strategy? So digitalization is happening, and as my two earlier panel members who brought out their digital interventions that they have carried out, which have given them wonderful results. The same thing goes with all of us. The technology interventions, the digital interventions that we require and are available now with the changing scenario. We see a big change in technology every day, and the digital technology leads is on the forefront. But then the basic question that is asked to every one of us as a HSE manager, as head safety in my organization, what that technological and digital intervention going to do? Improve performance. Is it going to give me improved performance? I mean, improve performance of what? The process, operations, and also health, safety, and environment. So that's the strategy which will drive any digital intervention that is going to take place in our organization. ONGC, as such, if you most of you are aware, process safety is being given it's a topmost priority for a company like ours, and digital interventions have already been taken place in the sense that you have a system of instrumentations which you drive the data, the data through SCADA is available to all of us, to of course the authorized people as well as for the operators in the installations, and uh, on the HMIs. It is there, and the data is also being stored for historical references and analyses. This way, the next step that as an organization we have taken is identifying these instrumentations and the elements as safety critical, and digitized their monitoring and maintenance mechanism. So as a strategy, we moved to the data part of maintaining such type of instruments. But then the companies started thinking, the organization as a whole, what next? What do we do next? And that's where the connected worker comes into the whole scenario. What do we do? Because the technology is available. You have VRs, as one of our panel members says. How they check the PPE using the CCTV? It's a good intervention. That is an intervention that we have started working on. Yes. The second aspect is the wearables. You know, I'm sure all of you must have come across the digital hat, where where you wear this hard hat, and it gives you the BP, it gives you the various parameters of the employee, and they have started working on nearby objects. So there is an alarm, so that the person doesn't hit the nearby object. So all these things are there, Santosh, and uh, with process of time, the most important aspect will be what digital intervention suits your requirement, the company's requirement, and the
Right.
organization, as well as the health and the safety of the individual. So that's the key.
Thank you, Mr. The next one goes like the problem which is faced by most of the organizations when this digitization happens. I know about ONGC because long back permit to work digitization and uh, uh, was made online. Everything was done in a proper sequential manner. So you might have experienced certain things like in the form of what are the best ways to capturizing the massive data which is coming in and shall be generated in this transformation. So management of the data is the main question. So how you did it and what right now is going on, what is the proposal, what is the way forward? Your thoughts on that, please.
So, Santosh, a very interesting aspect that you have raised. I mean, what do we do with all the things which keep coming in? I mean, daily you will have inputs of uh, bytes, terabytes, and megabytes of data coming to you. And what do you do with that? Number one, and how does it help you to enhance your performance? So,
Huh?
so the aspect that takes the prime importance is for me, for me as a HSC professional, and as a person who guides the safety in our operations. Uh, First thing is how to ensure that I'm able to move from reactive to proactive using this data. Is that data helping me to carry out predictive analysis? So that becomes a big challenge for all of us, that these are different technologies, and all technologies on a different platform. So all of them have to come together. So we are on SAP, and all our data management and business runs on SAP, each and every module. And we have also developed our own, as you were bringing out the electronic permit to work system. We have started indexing our HSE system through SAP, and now we are trying to connect all the operations parameters. The SCADA data is coming now to SAP. So the next target is we are working on uh, this the CCTV recognition systems, the connected worker systems, and all this we intend to flow to our SAP system. Now that's where the biggest challenge for us lies. So how do we connect these dots? That is where we hired Messrs. Accenture as one of our consultant.
Service provider.
They are helping us on this digital mapping, as well as inputs as well as outputs. And for analytics, we have hired Messrs. DNV, GL, as they are carrying out our safety management assessment, as well as they are going to bring out how the data that is going to come, what will be the analysis, how do I predict, and how do I use those predictions to ensure
Yeah, prediction
that
is.
my worker remains safe throughout. So that's going to be the key.
Thank you, Mr. Amit. I believe that out of your rich experience, you are contributing immensely for India's topmost upstream sector, and through these knowledge sharing sessions, obviously we are being benefited. Thank you. Now I'd like to get Mr. Sudhir Sinha. He is again another Alwaj. He is the regional HSE director at Henkel. And for the same topic, my question goes on, what is your perception on the current maturity levels of this transformation happening in industry, and more specifically in the function? Yeah, Sudhir, sir. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you, Santosh. I echo the opinions expressed by our esteemed panelists Ravi Kiran, Swaminathan, and Amit Kumar. And I would opine that digitalization is increasingly getting ingrained in our personal lives, at our work front, and through the work front, also influencing work culture as well as habits. Uh, at the work operating level, as Ravi Kiran also pointed out with the Industry 4, similarly with the advent of smart factory systems, IoTs, we find a increased and continued percolation. Though I would still opine that we are still not at the optimum levels, but we have come a long way actually. Businesses and customers today are connected as never before. So I can quote examples where in our flexible packaging academies, customers sitting thousands of miles can really look at the design, the entire manufacturing process, comment on the product quality as it is being processed. So all these things are happening today, very much part of the digital transformation in the industry. So uh, even at the manufacturing footprint and operations level, very heavy extent of sensor technology, which is influencing the operations and thereby playing a vital role in the EHS functions. More specifically, I would say, compared to the rest of the functions, the operations, the businesses, EHS functions are slightly lacking. But there again, I would comment, the advent of COVID-19 last year has really accelerated the pace of digitalization. So I can speak from a regional perspective that I commend. We have been doing extensive virtual audits, as just as Mr. Swaminathan, Mr. Ravi Kiran, and others pointed out, even Mr. Amit Kumar pointed out about the helmet mounted systems. So we have the RealWear systems, and those are available today. All wearable devices, they are intrinsically safe, they are non-intrinsically safe. Based on that, you take a conscious decision whether you can go to the flammable sections, flammable storage areas, etc. So virtual audits, safety walkabouts, Gamba walks, even the behavioral conversations are happening today virtually. And I would personally vouch for the fact that audits have been done for as remote places like South Africa. We have done that in Turkey, and all functioning as if you were physically present. So that's the level of technology today. But still, there is a way to go, as I would say, to reach the optimum levels. So time and motions being increasingly analyzed. We talked of CCTVs as and the real-time hazard management system that Mr. Swaminathan pointed out. All these are very much in vogue today and being practiced in our company, in the industry, and contributing a lot towards deeper analysis and carrying out incident investigation. So having said this, there is a good amount of maturity, but for optimum levels, I see it a couple of years away.
Right, Mr. Shenoy.
Sorry, I cannot hear you, Santosh.
Mr. Santosh, you are not audible.
Santoshji, you will have to unmute.
I think
I
on the
think
lighter
Mr.
side,
Santosh
that's
has
one
gone
of the
offline.
that's
So
one
Yes,
we
I
can.
think somebody has take to lead to for this.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
I think I request
technology
Shinoy
challenges.
also, I think, take continue from the side. Still,
Yes.
Mr. Santosh will back.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
now.
yeah, he's back. Santosh is back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, actually, now I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you are.
So while I was talking of digitization and this digital hiccup happened. So this is also in terms of the technology and the network when everybody is struggling, and that too in COVID time since last 1.5 years. We are used to this network and cheating and similar. Having said that, yeah, Mr. Shenoy, I was referring that while you were talking of the digitization part, it goes hand in hand with technology, wearable devices. So I think in Kane we had implemented one of the wearable devices wherein during COVID times that was a mobile app through which when people used to come in the proximity of 1 meter, it used to create an alarm, buzzing sound, so that the person is aware that he is coming close proximity and means this COVID protocol is violated. And for contact tracing, means if anybody got infected due to COVID, for contact tracing also it helped in retrieving data for high contact whoever come to contact more than 10 minutes and all those things, so that we could do the COVID management by isolating them and other things. So we use multiple digital technologies available in the market right now. With that, I would like to thank you, Mr. Shenoy, for your thoughts on this. And now, like to invite Mr. Manoj Shah, who operates at Fazil, and his topic will be automation in HSC, analyzing and collecting data. So, Mr. Manoj, welcome. And my question for you is, digitization solutions can company world to fetch better results in EHS data management. So, what are the processes we can use collecting data and analyzing the same in terms of automation in HSC? Over to you.
Thank you, Santosh. Yeah, so most of my fellow panelists has said their value, their uh, various digitization, intervention, and digital things. So I want to share about what we did in our company. So basically, we are solar power plant. So we are independent power producers, and we are generating power through solar. So we have a presence in across the India in Pan India. So for HSC, it's a very crucial for us to getting real-time data for like real HC data. So over the period of time, last 2 3 years, we have developed in-house software with the help of our safety teams. So various data from the Pan India, like HSC data regarding. So we have developed various parameters. So we are getting data like incident reporting, near miss reporting, uh, even for toolbox. So the supervisor who conducted toolbox, PPE compliances, even audits. So audits, we are in doing in Corona times, we are doing audit on all. So we make it paperless. Now all the parameters we are taking in a digitization through this our software. So this apps is available with all the employees of our Pan India presence. So all the employees having this app, and based on that app, they
Manoj,
are registering their.
Mr. Manoj.
Yeah, am I
Yeah,
audible?
Manoj, Mr. Manoj, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, you're audible. I wanted to just have your thoughts. You have implemented the app, mobile apps for your employees, but what about the contractual workforce? How are you managing taking the inputs of the data from their side? Because that is the urgent. So how are you doing that? What are the solutions to
Yes,
that?
yes, yes. So what we have developed last 2 3 years is data like toolbox. So the toolbox is conducted by that contractor supervisor, and that data is collected by our employees and feed this data in our app. So that way we are getting we have more than 50 to 60 sites across the India. So which are some of the control. Some are the control sites, some are the audible. Okay, so some are the control sites, some are the O&M sites. So we have different stages of the operations. So we have there are challenges facing. Earlier, what we having a manual system. So we are getting data like manually we collect data from the all the sites like incidents or near miss reporting. Each and data we are getting manually. Now we have stopped this data, and it will really help us to analyzing all the things. So I want to quote example like we have incident reporting and incident investigation system all are in the, our app as well as portal. So through that we have got the 2 years data. Based on that data analyzing, we found that there is a number of driving incidents. So, number of driving incidents and even employee as a contractor workers due to vehicles, two-wheeler, four-wheelers. So, by analyzing this data, we found that we need to formulate our driving policy, driving plan programs. So, we have formulated our driving plan and program and put in the place. So, it will help us by analyzing the data, we get what are the root causes, and accordingly to mitigate that. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you're audible, loud. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
because my
audible, Mr. Manoj.
yeah. So what I want to say that to get the automations, you get the data like real-time datas, like incident reporting, incident investigations. Even we are conducting audits in our apps. So employees at the sites, they have to close the NC, like in institution, they have to close the CAPAs. So that are it is the information available up to CEO level. Top management is aware about that. What is going on? Each and every
So,
employee have access.
sorry for interrupting you. Yeah, Mr. Manoj, sorry for interrupting you, running short of time because another speaker in the queue.
Okay, okay. I'll just cut down.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One just I want to complete in 1 minute. So what I say that due to this automations, it really help because I have more than 24 hours experience. But last I found this automations, it really helped the safety professional to get the data insights because to collect data manually and it really cumbersome jobs. So if you get the real-time data, you analyze. So you can formulate the preventive system, as Mr. All earlier panelists said. We got the what are the preventive system we can implement. So it's really helpful as in my sense. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Manoj, for your thoughts and your experience and your implementation on the same. Uh, I would like to refer one of the solutions which we were also using, like for the stop card, which are built mainly by the contractual workforce for whom this mobile is not app is not accessible. And times in oil and gas industries, mobiles are not allowed. So there's a like optical readers are there which can read and translate the language into the digital form and then convert into the analytic form. So that is also one of the solutions we had seen. Thanks, Mr. Manoj. And now I'd like to invite the last speaker of today's our gathering is Mr. BK Soni, who is GM in IT from Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Pipelines, Bhubaneswar, and his topic will be the capturing and analyzing massive amounts of EHS and operational data for understanding. So, Mr. Soni, my question goes for you. What are major solutions available in the market? Like you can say benchmarking, you can talk of what is happening in Singapore. We are the leaders in digitization in EHS. What I can perceive here. What are the major solutions available? And what is the practical approach suggested for implementing the same? Over to you, Mr. Soni. Moni, are there?
Am I audible? Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah, now you are audible. You can go ahead, please. I think again you are on mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are now audible.
Am I audible?
Please go ahead. You are audible.
Thank you so much. Now, straightway, I will be coming to the question which you have asked. See, we have a different kind of industry all across the country, and depending on the kind of culture the company is having and the kind of investment the company wants to make, the kind of seriousness or the kind of commitment the management is there. Various companies are having this kind of solution, IT-based solution, or so-called use of analytical tools. Now, a very simple example. Now, on the road, if you go see toll plazas, now they are having, they are not taking money from you. They are having some kind of technological intervention, the use of FASTags. These kind of things can definitely be used inside the factory premises. For example, as of now, many of us are using these detecting high-speed vehicles through the use of cameras. 360 degrees cameras and high resolution pictures are there. So this solution is there for one of the safety violation, which is the you call high speeding. Similar tools are available because suppose you want to check how many people are working in your premises without say helmet. In that case, you can have a predefined helmet fitted with some kind of similar kinds of stickers which are fit like a Fastex. So you can have those kind of detecting devices like 360-degree camera, high resolution camera, and this they can catch up, and at a given point of time in the real scenario, you can analyze how many people are without this helmet. It is feasible. There are many vendors available. So I had a talk with some of the vendors to the extent that even if you have a predefined see work wear like boiler suit, without boiler suit you are not allowed. So this kind of similar thing can be integrated on the boiler suit also. Thereby, use of technology can help capturing this kind of data, which is actually not easy to capture. See, it is easy for us to stop people at the entrance of the gate, but once they enter, it is there is no other tool that can be incorporated. So the industry where these kind of things are permitted, but that can be used in oil industry. We have a limitation on the use of electric devices because of that. No, these all have to be intrinsically safe, all those things. But at given some areas we are using it, it is feasible and it is technologically possible to find the deviation in behavior also. One of the expected behavior safety which we call, it is possible by use of these tools. So it is not that earlier this was just was one of the panelists has spoken about the near miss. We do have also that same system now. That analysis part is coming to us now. Sitting in my chair, I can at a one point of time can say that yes, something is. These are the deviations. So, sir, what I feel that it is the right step that we are talking about this intervention of this IT and analysis, analyzing those data and capturing. Capturing is going to be a difficult task. All those audience who was listening to us, please note that sometimes no we come after attending certain things, or suppose we start something this kind of intervention, but if we do not have a strong safety culture, we are talking on the safety culture. Safety culture means it's sustainable, it has to sustain over a long period of time, and it has become a voluntary movement. Otherwise just like it will become a one way or reactive to sort of thing. So, Santosh, sir, what you said is a very practically possible, and we must look now at this time that we must look into this kind of intervention. Lot of companies, startups are available, and they are ready to serve you depending on your requirement. So I just today itself I talked to some of the vendors on the topic, and they say that you just tell us, we will customize to you. So a lot of, because this IT boom is there, and it can be benefited. The cost is also not very significant. I hope this justifies the intervention of this IT and analytical tools in HSC, EHS also for that purpose. Operational data is already in use. All of us from industry, and sir has some.
Thank you, Mr. Soni. Thanks for your thoughts and your practical approach, and your business also is a different. With that, I'm summarizing with one point or discussion what has happened today. Thanks to the house gathering. Like those who have started to embrace digital as a fundamental part of the health and safety strategy, are removing the roadblocks and excuses and driving in a positive change to maintain a culture or develop a culture by bringing health and safety to the forefront of minds and actions. So that's all from us. Over to you, Sana. We can take it.
Thank you indeed. That was a great panel discussion session. Thank you so much, Mr. Srivastava, for moderating the panel so well. And thank you so much to all our panel members. Fantastic having all of you here on a busy working Friday, and for giving time on such an important subject and topic. Thank you so much to all our viewers and attendees who are watching this event. So I'm sure a lot of takeaways, from all these interesting people from such an expert panel like this. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Thank you, Mr. Srivastava, for doing the honor of moderating. Hope to see all of you in the next edition. Thank you.
Most welcome. Happy to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.